What is up, guys? Welcome back to a new installment of account augmentation. Today we have Waknert from server 181 who wants his account adjusted accordingly. So let's have a look at his lineup. According to him, this is his best lineup, sub Amai for Janus for PvP. So from my preliminary observations, I can see that his main character would be King over here. King is his most invested character, and according to him is his favorite character, so that's very nice because King is one of the best PvP/PvE mob clearing characters in the game right now. The main focal point I can see for improvement is that number one, he suggested that he wanted to get Silver Fang in the return banner to replace his Tank Top Master. I think that's not a very smart idea. When it comes to PvP, you might want to save a lot of energy, especially if you're running King. So from just the preliminary observations, you can see that this is a PvP oriented account. So let's have a look at his focal point. So why do I call this a PvP oriented account? It's not because that it's centered towards PvP, it's just if you look at his PvE units, which is Amai and PK, their attacks are relatively low. For Club Boss, if you want to optimize your Amai mask, it needs to be somewhere around 240 to 250k attack. This Amai is nowhere near that damage value, so I wouldn't consider this a PvE account. Let's have a look at his King. So his King has reached 2 million PP, which is quite okay for server 181, to be honest. It's stronger than my King at server 14 at least, so that's really good. Judging from this, as his second red character, his level limit is at a considerable pace. Limit 18 is fine, but since he's your main character and if your King is having a lot of survivability issues, you might want to push up his limits to gain that extra HP from the skill limit. Limit break, I think it's fine to stop at 5 stars because you have other priority characters like your Garo and your Zombie Man. Awakening, I think investment wise you should stop after you gain all the attacks over here because it's quite an amazing amount of investment. You might want to invest into other characters like Garo a little bit more because I think you'll be able to reap more rewards with your Garo because it's the latest LSSR and you'll be able to get more combos from him just because of his internal injury proc, and then you can also run a crit Garo if you feel like it, if you have the necessary gears, because I think it would be a very good opportunity for you to actually start shifting meta because King is going to be relegated to a support unit once Giro is out. His journey is completed and his talent, he has stockpiled a lot of talent tree coins. So if you still want to proceed with King, you might want to bolster up his attack at least. Since you have the excess amount of coins, you might as well. You also want to bolster up his HP for unyielding as well as the crit berserk and the other talents. Actually maintain them at that level. So now let's have a look at your gears. You have a 4-star keepsake, which is expected of a King main. Now, regarding your set, I feel there is too much speed in the set. I understand where you want to go with Speed King, but at the same time, I feel a setup via Garo at Speed 2 after your Tank Top Master, and then King to follow up with the burst would be way more functional. If you want to run Speed King, you won't be able to gain extra energy via Eternal Injury unless the enemy is attacking you in between your King and your other units. So let's say your whole team is outspeeding a team, you will end your energy at King because there will be no other way for you to proc Internal Injury unless you want to introduce Ling Ling into your lineup, because Garo will not follow up unless an enemy character attacks. So too much speed is a little bit bad for the Zombie Man combo just because you need to inflict injury as well as tenacity to get the maximum amount of energy. So what I recommend is reducing your King speed so that you can combo Tank Top Master and then Garo and then King, or you can run Garo first so that if your internal injury lands in a better angle, your tank top master can actually pummel an entire column, and you could possibly kill the unit. So there are many ways to play this lineup. You can either run tank top master first to make sure that your backline survives, put tank top master at the back, and then grant them that tenacity. Or you can run Garo first, and then you can use tank top master as a follow-up nuker just before king. So you're basically softening the units, because king will only have 2 energy roughly once it's his turn, so he will never be able to reach max damage on his passive. So for all of you who do not have a king, king's passive actually increases his extra damage by 25% per 1 stack of energy, so you can cap at 7 energy. So this will be available to you via round 2. You should be able to reach 7 energy quite easily, especially if you're running this lineup. You might need to turn off 1 or 2 ultimates, and the least you will reach is 5 energy. So that's still 125% extra damage bonus, so I think it's fine. Now, regarding your CK, I would say it's a pitch perfect CK, except for the limit. You might want to push it up because he is your main tank, it seems. You can actually stop his talent once you, his awakening once you push through to 4. Keeping him at this stage is fine. Regarding his talent, I would say his talent is done. You might want to up unyielding to at least 3. But other than that, maybe push up the health nodes to 7. And then that's it. In terms of gearing, your CK is pitch perfect. It doesn't have a suit set, that's unfortunate. Let me actually have a look at your suit gears. Oh my. HP or HP bonus? Yeah, okay, no, you cannot run a suit set, so I guess a broken set will do well for you. Now, your Garo. You might want to alter this crit damage as well as this attack defense if you have. Since you're running a broken set, you have the flexibility to use other gears, so maybe you can run this prisoner instead of this gangster gear. And for this scholar pants here, you might want to sub in for attack percentage instead if you plan to start Ascension card it, because you'll be able to gain more attack rather than sacrificing for a worse substat like crit damage, because you're not running a crit set. So I feel like the substat is a little bit wasted. Now onto your tank top master. He has a total of 587 speed, which is quite amazing. I'm pretty sure your tank top master has one of the highest speed in the server, at least among your paying grade, which is Dolphin. If you feel like your tank top master is going fast enough, you might want to swap out for higher value primal shirt. It doesn't hurt. Minus 54 speed, you can actually reinvest the SACs into other gears, or you can just reinvest it into other characters. I don't think it's necessary to rush for full speed. You might actually want to have 1 HP percent here. Let me check whether you have a primal HP percent. So you have a shirt HP percent, but it's purple, so you might not want to do that. So I think just stick with the orange gear is fine. Your zombie man, the gears are not, I wouldn't say they are bad, but they are not the best. I think in this case you might want to consider going for attack percentages on the purple side. So you can actually swap out your main shirt for this and maybe an attack speed, so your zombie man isn't last. Oh, you do not have attack speed, that is unfortunate. You have attack speed here? No. Okay, so attack percentages I think is the way to go. You might want to find it for a different position, or you might want to swap it for a suit set. So for your suit set, you can actually go attack percentage and a flat attack as well as 1 attack speed. And I think it will be better if you are interested to invest Star Ascension cards into it, just because the values of the percentages will actually push your attack beyond the 2233 right now. I can actually show you the value now. So this is how I would build your zombie man. So attack percentage. For pants, attack percentage. For tie, attack percentage. And you're going to want to have 1 attack speed there actually. So I might just swap the shirt for that because we have and attack shoot. So it might look something like this, and you have 185. And your zombie man will be roughly speed 5. You might want to SAC that, or you can actually finish your duelist memories for speed. So looking at his memories, he seems to have quite a few finish. He actually asked me to fill up some of the memories on stream, so I actually do it. So this is his Esper ally speed, so it will affect his king. So he wouldn't need to actually Star Ascension card his gears that much. I'll leave the share to him later. So his memories, he's got the core done. Grappler, this is done. This is duelist. You might want to push for duelist now, just because your zombie man might need it actually. Because after this, you're not going to be investing too much into zombie man, so you might want to just get it out of the way. I'm not telling you to rush for it, but just you might want to get it out of the way. This one is also done, because after this it will be Esper meta, and it seems that you're already ready for Esper meta because you have been investing thoroughly onto your king. So regarding the memories, right, most of the player base should be at this state by now, regardless if you're free to play or dolphin or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You should be around the state where you complete most of the major memories, and some of the essential sub ones are done. So these lines are important. That's high tech is not really important. High tech is not really important, guys, just because there are no good high tech units for a while. The closest usable high tech unit will be Genos at May, should be May. So definitely you should get rid of your Esper as well as duelist and your grappler memory should be done before Zombie Man era, by the way, but it's okay if you haven't finished it since then. Let's have a quick look at his result. So he has a few fusible stuff which I won't touch out of respect. He seems to have quite a lot of Omnis, so this is his Omni selection. So you can choose between Omnishot, Hero and Monster, so he has the flexibility to pick, so that's really good. He save up 33, which is not a lot but still quite a bit, especially since you can be flex. He has 390 black tickets and 335 elite vouchers, and he also has 3 LSSRs. 1, 2, 3. Yes, he has 3 LSSR. So he either got really lucky with his pulls, or he just bought extra tickets. But I think it's more of the former than the latter. He also has 335 elite vouchers, assuming he's waiting for CK rate up, which he will be able to bank in on other characters. I don't recommend you do it. I recommend you actually get it when SSR Chose is out, because I think he's a better investment later down the road. If you want, you can spend maybe 180 on CK and then save the rest for future banners. That's my recommendation. He has the exclusive recruitment ticket 22. That means he should be ready for RMG. Just a minor update. RMG was released in Taiwan and her keepsake did not come out with her banner. So that means we will have more time to save for the keepsake. Now, let's look at his other resources. So regarding his figurines, he's opened Charanko. Okay, not bad. So figurines wise, it seems that he's really lacking bases, which is a little bit odd. So you might want to consider actually buying a bit more figurine bases from your tournament shop, because the substat, although it looks minor, it actually is quite a substantial boost to your BP, because it accumulates over and over. So you might want to keep buying these, because it doesn't seem like you're using your tournament coins anyway, so might as well splurge for the extra stats, because additional stats actually make a difference. No matter how little it is, it still makes a difference. And then we're going to look at his training. So his training hall, he's open and progressed almost everything to 100%. Only the battle and the skill training has not been touched, probably due to the major costs and the diminishing returns, because it's only 3%, which is not really that good, to be honest. So pitch perfect over there. His laboratory, he has 1.2 million BP from his laboratory. Okay. So the other two characters he has is D2 King and Bakuzan, and both of them have not been leveled. So I think this is the peak of where he can get. Seems to be a little bit unlucky on the souls and the cores, which is common for every account. I'm not sure why he has a level. I see, it's because of the cores and the souls as well. So not bad. 1.2 million BP from laboratory is substandard for this level of 8 account. We are going to have, oh wait, I forgot, we have to look at his Saitama talent as well. So far he seems to be on the right track. He's maxing the substats, which is what I recommended for everyone to do. He should also focus on team rest first, because I think this is a very good substat. Resistance is a very valuable stat to have passively, not as part of the gear. Of course, and actually have a look at what rest actually does if they actually put it down here. But yeah, for crit rest is of course resistance to crit, but you have different types of resistance. You have odd resistance, crit resistance, you have effect resistance. So the basic resistance basically goes through effect resistance, so you'll be able to resist effects like injury as well as certain statuses like dot. So definitely a good substat to have, that is for sure. So let's actually have a look at his arena, his positioning in the arena. So his top 4, which is considerably good. I've adjusted his lineup. Previously he had Dr. Janus here. I'm actually swapping in for Alloy. Just from my preliminary observations of this enemy team, he has 1, 2, 3 altars. So I think the passive from Alloy might actually be worth it. So we are going to see if it will actually pass through. So this is the concern that I had with this lineup. So you see, Tank Top Master generated the energy via his ultimate. And in the event that Garo does not follow up, you basically lose an extra ultimate. So that's a major thorn in the side of this team comp, is because you're depending on Garo to follow up. And Garo does not have a guarantee follow up unless the enemy is a hero. So let's say in that instance it was the Garo that moved first. So Garo is not actually registered as a hero, he's registered as a martial artist, so it still falls under the 40% follow up. So you will not be able to actually take out the team consistently. So what I'm going with this is, if you might want to speed up your Garo so that he goes speed 2, so you'll be able to land 3 ultimates in round 1. So you go with Tank Top Master Shield ultimate, and then Garo's internal injury ultimate, followed up by King's ultimate. Now this would mean that King have less damage multiplier via his passive, just because that there's less energy on the playing field. But at the same time, you have that compensated with the internal injury targets on the field. So definitely it is more or less a trade-off that I personally would be happy to take. So looking at this lineup, it seems that putting Alloy in was a good decision, just because that I was able to survive the multiple ultimates not only from his Garo as well as his King, but also his Goketsu, and it's actually kept my backline relatively healthy to the point where I do not need to consistently worry about my lineup actually dying. So from this, I would say that it will be more optimized if King was speed 3 and Garo was speed 2. We'll actually run a test after this to figure out whether that is really the case. So I've gotten Waknert's permission to actually swap out his gears a little bit. So we'll just have a try again and see whether we still take just as long to take up that same opponent. We're going to keep attacking the same opponent just as a control. So we're going to swap out the Knight gear set. So our attack should have dropped a little bit just because that it's an orange gear. Just because that it is level 0 orange gear, my bad. I'm trying to look for the same Knight set just so that it attack speed, if I'm not mistaken. So the attack actually went up, it's just that the speed that went down. Okay, so from here, I think King would have dropped to speed 3, yeah. Preferably this is not the method I want to run. I would rather run King with a little bit more speed, so I might have SAC'd this Knight gear to 3, actually, to be honest. Or maybe complete just one more memory, which is the Esper Ally Speed memory over here, this one. After this, King will have 427 speed, which is quite ideal. For this pay range, you can actually push it higher if you want. Definitely getting an orange speed gear will be best case scenario, but it is what it is. So we'll proceed with this and we'll attack the same opponent using him as a control. Now King is speed 3, his speed is down a bit. So we'll be able to test and see whether this comp is better or more consistent. This is what we're gunning for. We're gunning for consistency, so you're able to win. So we know that we won, but we have to see how we won. So same as previously, Thankful Master sets up. And then their Garo goes first. So in the event that our Garo follows up, that's very good because we gain the internal injury bonus. So if Garo does not follow up, then we do not gain that. So it's alright. So because the enemy has a King, I do not think we'll be able to ult in round 1 as well. So I guess that is something that I need to consider as well if the enemy has the presence of a King. So going with that, I would actually agree with Waknert's position, but at the same time, if you were to able to speed tune King to be faster, I think this lineup will be able to do way more damage than expected. So for now, we actually get to have a taste of how this lineup will work, but it's only in the second round, unfortunately. So we'll have a look. Hopefully this Goketsu does not annihilate me. So you see Garo's damage and setup is pretty sick. Okay, so now we get to see King actually tear up their team. So quite good, to be honest, for that damage. I would say pretty solid. It's not as high as I wanted it to be, mostly because the enemy King actually interfered with the energy accumulator. Actually -2 or not, that would have been a 7 energy ult if I'm not mistaken. 7 energy ult would have been way more nice to, it probably could have pushed their characters further a bit, but it is what it is. If the game went perfectly, then we might actually get to see a 6 energy ult here, so okay. This would probably wipe out all of them, to be honest. See, okay, yeah, that's what we were going for. We wanted that to happen in round 2, but because of the adjustments needed for speed, it had to happen in round 3. But nevertheless, really, really good insight into how this team actually works. So definitely with that last memory for Esper's speed, I think that would have been a reality that Waknert will be able to take down that opponent at round 2. That's for sure. Because that's the exact lineup that I'm running now on my account, and for those who have seen my account can tell that my king is one hell of a king. And Waknert's king is tit for tat, actually better than my king in terms of damage, only lacking in speed, to be honest. So his account can definitely go to the heights that he expects to reach. Just recommendation wise, he might want to actually swap up this gear, maybe start ascension card the attack percentages a little bit, as well as adjust the speed a little bit more. You can adjust it via start ascension carding this gear, or you can invest into the memories. Next, we're gonna have a look at his club challenge potentials. So club challenge wise, definitely this account should be able to do Boros. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I'm so sorry guys, but we actually claimed this gear as compensation, so hopefully it's a good set. Attack HP, that's not bad. You can actually put that on to Zombie Man, to be honest. We have orange gear on Zombie Man now, so you just minus this attack percentages for this. Whether it's good, it's debatable. You might want to check the damage disparity because that was a percentage, but if you had no intentions of Star Ascension carding that attack percentage gear, I think this gear is way better. But if you had the intentions of SACing that gear, then definitely it is good. Unfortunately, I cannot do max damage on the Gary Gunship on his club because that would be a little bit disrespectful. I'm all about the respect, boys. Respect. So we're gonna leave it at that. We actually have a look at tournament. We'll do 1 or 2 challenges on his hero side. In terms of burst, right, I'm more afraid of being bursted than getting attacked by Flashy Flash. So I will definitely position Super Alloy here, because not a lot of people actually pull Flashy Flash. So I don't really see the necessity of directly countering him now. Maybe at the highest level, you can sub him in as a temporary extra damage reducer, but most people run burst comps now, and that's just how the meta has evolved. Just because Garo is such an amazing enabler that you don't really need sorry, I should rephrase that. Garo is such a good enabler that you really need something to reduce alt damage as well as other forms of damage, and I feel Alloy is that man. Just because of his passive, your alt damage reduction of self and allies in the same row is 40%, so you take 40% less damage from ultimates, which is definitely wanted and definitely needed for you to progress. So moving forward from now, I recommend you actually number one, as I recommended before, since king is your focus, you might want to push your king a little bit more in terms of the skill. Awakening, you can stop at this, because you can also push for 5 stars if you wish to. To be honest, you've already come this far, but it's a little bit worrisome because after this the meta evolves to very high bursts, especially with the introduction of SSR Genos. So it's a little bit concerning. So you might want to think twice before investing any more into King. You might want to do a little bit more research on the uses of King during Euro era. Because from my preliminary analysis, King is mostly paid as a support. just because you want higher value of damage, and if your king isn't a monster by then, I think people who invest into Genos will reap better rewards. So for this level of investment on Genos, I would say without keepsake, king is better, but with keepsake, Genos is better. So you might want to play with your cards now, because if I remember correctly, you were not interested in pulling Genos. Let me actually just pull up our discussion. Oh, you are pulling Genos for perks. So you might want to reconsider actually whether your king will be able to survive during that era. I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying like you might want to test out doing PvP during when Genos is out and adjust as you go. Because I know you're interested to keep king for as long as possible, and definitely you'll be able to, but at one point king will be rendered null and void. So you just have to prepare for that. If you prepare earlier, I think you'll be able to make king last way longer than where he's supposed to stop. Regarding your other characters, your CK is definitely good, but I think you need to push him to 5 stars. I don't suggest you Omni him though. You might want to wait for his elite banner and then push him then. But as I said, please save up a little bit of tickets for other units down the road, especially SSR Chose. Even though he's far away, elite tickets are not exactly very easy to get. You get 1 per day if I'm not mistaken, and then you can get additional via the tournament bonus. So once you rank up, so you can get about 9 per week roughly, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but yeah, you can get about 9 per week. So by the time SSR Chose rolls around, it will be roughly 6 months. So 6 months, 6 times 4, 24 times 9. You have, okay, yeah, you have roughly 180, but you might want to get a bit more, just because you'll be able to max SSR Chose when he gets out, and then your Oblivion Terrible Tornado will be really sick. And in terms of investment, your Garo, because of the talent buff, you don't really need to 5-star him anymore, to be honest. Personally, I'm still 5-starring my Garo just because he's my favorite character, but you don't necessarily need to anymore. And your Tank Top Master is quite good. He will definitely be way better with his keepsake. So you can get his keepsake via the new spring event, which is here for quite a few more days. So you definitely have plenty of time. So if I'm not mistaken, you can get various amounts of I'm not sure where the keepsake is, to be honest. But yeah, I've been hearing that you can actually get keepsakes. Was it here? No? I don't know. I'm not too sure because I'm not going through the Fortune Wishes event. So, talent chest, R&D. I don't really see keepsake, but I think somebody reached on top here to get the keepsake chest, I guess. But yeah. I'm not really too sure where the keepsake is, but I know that you can select quite a few keepsakes. You can select CK, Tank Top Master, as well as Metal Bat if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely get CK KS if you don't have it, and then you can also get Tank Top Master KS. But Tank Top Master KS will be readily available when Server Guild Wars come out. But it's only in the form of shards, so you still need to fuse and synthesize it. So that's it for my advice for Waknert. Regarding your account, just make sure that you adjust your gears for your various characters. Your CK gears are fine. King needs this attack gear there and needs to be speed tuned. Your Garo, you might want to swap this gangster for the prisoner attack. For Tank Top Master, you might want to swap his shirt for a HP attack shirt. Zombie Man, you might want to run a suit set, and you can swap this to attack if you really need the attack percentages and you want to start Ascension card it. And other than that, all your characters are fine. That's it, everybody, for this episode of account augmentation. Sorry to have taken a lot of your time. If you wish to have your account augmented, do PM me via my Discord or my email. It's down in the description. Thank you so much. Peace.